If you're going to research your family history, first start with what you know. Write down what you remember of your family. Ask relatives what they can remember. Go to older relatives for stories from an earlier time. Record who said what, then you can check later if you need to. What has survived in the family? If you are lucky, not everything will have been thrown away. There might be photographs, or even a whole album. If you are really lucky, someone will have put a name on the reverse of the picture. You might want to do this with your own photographs. Use a soft pencil on the back. Wedding pictures often survive. Who can you identify? The bride's or the groom's side. Other useful evidence can be bills or insurance payouts. They can give useful dates and addresses for your ancestors. Marriage and birth certificates are excellent evidence if they survive. There might be a marriage certificate for your parents. But beware, families are sometimes more complicated than they appear. If you're not sure about details, use the GRO index to search for marriages and births. You can order birth, marriage or death certificates from the registry office for the area where the event took place, or order online from the General Registry Office at www.gro.gov.uk. Registration of births, marriages and deaths began in 1837, so that's as far back as you can go using this method. In the early days of registration, quite a number of births were not registered. Another excellent family history source is the census. A census of the whole population is taken every 10 years. The most recent census we can see is that of 1911, available on a pay-to-view site, although there is a free search for a name. You can then look for the family in the previous census in 1901, 1891, and so on backwards. In the 1841 census, names were taken for the first time, although there is not the same amount of detail as there is in later years. All the census information is now available online on a subscription or pay-to-view basis. However, Leicestershire Library Services offers free access in their libraries to their subscription to Ancestry. This gives you census transcriptions and views of the census pages. Ask in your local library. Church records are another useful source of information. You might find a baptism or confirmation certificate. There might be an entry in the Register of Baptism in the home parish. Marriages which took place in the parish church will be recorded in the parish register with the couple's own handwriting. Parish registers can be seen in the record office for the county or district where the marriage took place. Some parish registers are online, but most are not. See our list of websites where you might find this information. Sources of information about the death of a relative can be helpful. Memorial cards were sent out to family and friends to inform them of the funeral arrangements. Burials happened quite quickly, and people may not have had the time to travel. Gravestones can be very informative, although remember that they could be put up at a later date. Death certificates are not always useful in moving your family back, but can be very useful in answering questions about the family. Age and the causes of death are not always reliable. Obituaries in local newspapers can be very informative, listing important events in the person's life, their work, qualifications, and family history. Wills can be brief, but sometimes are very detailed, listing the family and the person's belongings. People with businesses in trade and farming often left wills. Don't assume your ancestors were too poor to leave a will. Always look, just in case. Wills from before 1858 were church records and are held in the county record office. After 1858, they were the business of the probate court. National calendars indexes from 1858 up to the 1890s can be seen at the Leicestershire and Rutland Record Office at Wigston. For wills from after the 1890s, visit the probate court in the court buildings at 90 Wellington Street, Leicester. War memorials are on many village greens, in churches and village halls. For those who died in the First or Second World War, the Commonwealth War Graves Commission makes them very easy to trace. World War I service medal cards are online. You can pay to view documents online on the National Archive website, or visit your local library for the Ancestry subscription, where you can also view the surviving 40% of the World War I soldiers' service records.